Hi everyone, my name is Khoo from the University of Maryland in Baltimore County. I am presenting my paper co-authored with Rachael, Kang, Tera, Reynolds, and Helena Mentis titled That's Kinda Suspicious, The Comprehensiveness of Mental Health Application Users' Privacy and Security Concerns. Mental health applications are apps that provide care to support users with their mental health and well-being. Data privacy in mental health apps is becoming an important ethical consideration due to its sensitive nature. The privacy and security risks can negatively impact people's well-being due to stigma surrounding mental illness. However, previous work found that companies that develop mental health apps put little effort to protect users' data, while they actively encourage users to share information. Research also revealed that data sharing with third parties is a common practice in mental health apps. However, there is little or no way for users to be aware of data sharing practices of mental health apps that they engage with, since the privacy policies are hard to read and are not transparent about their privacy practices. There are two app evaluation websites that are aiming to help users to understand the trustworthiness of mental health apps. There are Privacy Not Included and Why My Separate Guide. Privacy Not Included is a buyer's guide created by privacy and security experts in the Mozilla Foundation to review products based on apps permission, privacy, minimum security standards, and AI, where they assign warning labels to the apps that receive warnings from more than two criteria. On the other hand, Why My Separate Guide is a nonprofit organization that brings together experts in digital mental health to review mental health apps in credibility, transparency, and user experience, where they assign scores on each categories. So in this paper, we aim to understand users' experience and perspectives on data sharing with mental health apps, as well as explore opportunities to improve existing resources, evaluation practices, to support consumers' decision on mental health apps. We conducted a two-phase study. In phase 1, we analyzed user reviews from app stores to understand users' privacy and security concerns of mental health apps. We first selected apps from the Apple App Store and Google Play. We then applied inclusion and exclusion criteria. This resulted in 140 apps. We then collected latest 1,000 reviews of the selected apps and applied the exclusion criteria, which resulted in around 55,000 reviews in total. From those reviews, we manually assessed all 55,000 reviews for relevance to data privacy. 437 reviews were identified as relevant reviews as a result. We applied thematic analysis on those reviews from 83 discrete apps. In phase 2, we compared user concerns that we collected from phase 1 and compared it with the expert concerns. We reduced 60 open codes from phase 1 due to naming overlap, and we collected expert concerns from the criteria listed on Privacy Not Included and Why My Separate Guide website. We then correlated the user concerns with expert concerns and counted the time each code was used. We presented the comparison and the percentage of occurrence in the heat map. In phase 1, we found that users are concerned when asked to provide data linked to their identity and grant permission to track data on their devices. Users are also concerned about data sharing or selling to other platforms. For example, one user stated their concerns about receiving spam emails from people having their medical information, which is an undesirable outcome of data selling. In addition, users express concerns about the safety of their data when they become suspicious about how it is handled. For instance, one user commented about their concerns regarding data breach of that specific app that leaked their personal data. They also emphasized the lack of security measures such as security settings that includes passcode or Face ID, data encryption, and protection against vulnerabilities as their security concerns. Lastly, users are concerned about their control over their data and are unhappy with how the app deceptively and unethically collects their data without transparency. One user commented about their concerns on unable to remove their personal data from the system of the specific app. In phase 2, where we compared user concerns to expert concerns, We found that the user and expert concerns are aligned on identifying data collection, data sharing of third parties, invasive data tracking, unable to remove personal information, lacking encryption and protection for vulnerable users. However, users did not mention prior security vulnerabilities, lacking automatic security updates, and doesn't require a strong password, which were mentioned by the experts. This lack of user reviews on evaluation criteria about security may suggest that users are not as concerned as experts with those aspects of mental health apps. Finally, experts did not mention the manipulative data practices that the user have experienced during data collection. They also did not mention the HIPAA violation and collection of personal health information in the app. Moreover, they did not mention users' concerns on unable to turn off data tracking, data selling, and email subscription, as well as the lack of security settings. This heat map presents the comparison of concerns from the user and expert and the percentage of occurrence of the codes. As we can see here, many users mentioned their concerns with data collection, data sharing, which align with expert concerns. However, experts failed to include the manipulative data practices of mental health apps, which was more than 20% of the relevant user reviews in our dataset. On the other hand, there are 6 expert concerns that were not mentioned or were only mentioned once or twice. Half of them falls into the minimum security standards category and privacy not included, which are lack of automatic security updates, doesn't require strong passwords, and does not have a publicly available privacy policy or contact. In conclusion, our findings suggest that although some users are aware of collection of identifying information from mental health apps, they do not seem to understand the potential risk when they start to use the app at a decision point where they can actually prevent the harm. It is only when they encounter the undesirable outcome that they become aware of a risk associated with data collection from mental health apps. Next, our work suggests that there are a large gap in the online resources, such as Privacy Not Included and Why My Cyber Guide, since the former only includes a small subset of available mental health apps, and the latter does not dive as deeply into privacy and security. User concerns can present opportunities for a better mental health app user guidance. For example, incorporating users' voice into the app evaluation, as these can fully capture relevant user concerns based on their actual experiences in mental health apps. Future work could explore guidance as educational materials to support users to make informed decisions when choosing a safe mental health app. Moreover, it would be worthwhile to explore other forms of guidance to support users' decision-making, such as inputs from mental health providers, since the current guidance might not be sufficient for users to make informed decisions. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to contact me with any questions. You can reach me at the email address on the slides.